Did you know that India boasts the world's largest youth population with over 600 million people under the age of 25? This incredible demographic advantage fuels India's economic rise, driving a rapidly expanding workforce and a surge in innovation and entrepreneurship. As a result, India's economy has been growing at an impressive rate, making it one of the fastest-growing major economies in the world, with a projected GDP growth rate of around 6 to 7% in recent years. This ain't your grandma's India anymore. Today, India is a land of innovation and rapid development. From bustling metropolises to cutting-edge technology hubs, the country is transforming at an unprecedented pace. For decades, India was seen as a land of contrasts, poverty alongside progress, tradition clashing with modernity. But something's changing. The gap between the old and the new is narrowing, and a new India is emerging. The world's largest democracy, a youthful population, and a strategic location, India's got all the ingredients for superpower status. With a government focused on reform and development, the future looks bright. But how will this sleeping giant wake up and reshape the world? The answer lies in its ability to harness its potential and address its challenges. But when they are finally there, this will happen. Buckle up, folks, and let's get started. Let's talk money, folks. India's economy is already a force to be reckoned with. It's one of the fastest growing in the world, even surpassing China at times. Think about it. A massive consumer market, a young and skilled workforce, and a government that's finally getting serious about economic reforms. It's a recipe for success. In the next 20 to 30 years, experts predict India will have the world's third largest economy. Some even say they potentially can be the biggest. That's right, we're talking about a serious jump in living standards for millions of Indians. But it's not just about the numbers. This economic boom will have ripple effects across the globe. India will become a major player in global trade, investment, and innovation. Get ready, world. India's economic engine is just getting started. Move over Silicon Valley, there's a new tech hub in town, and it's called India. From Bangalore to Hyderabad, Indian cities are exploding with tech talent and innovation. We're talking about a generation of young Indians who are hungry for success and armed with the latest tech skills. They're building the next generation of apps, software, and digital platforms that will change the world. But it's not just about software. India is making huge strides in space exploration, artificial intelligence, and renewable energy. Remember Chandrayaan, India's mission to the moon? That was just the beginning. India could develop and control groundbreaking technologies, such as advanced AI, quantum computing, and space travel. This technological edge would give India unprecedented control over global communications, cybersecurity, and space exploration. And with its massive population and growing middle class, India will be its own biggest market for these new technologies. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room, India's military. As India grows in economic and technological might, it's only natural that its military capabilities will also expand. India already has one of the largest armed forces in the world, with a proud history of defending its borders. But to become a true superpower, India needs to project power beyond its borders. This means investing in advanced military technology, developing a blue water navy, and strengthening its air force. It also means forging strategic partnerships with like-minded countries around the world. India could establish military bases worldwide, effectively policing major trade routes and strategic points, exerting control over global maritime and aerial routes. Building a truly global military presence won't happen overnight. It's a long-term strategy that will require sustained investment and careful planning. But as India's global interests expand, so too will its military reach. For decades, India followed a policy of non-alignment, carefully balancing its relationships between major powers. This approach allowed India to maintain its sovereignty and independence during the Cold War, avoiding entanglement in the ideological battles between the United States and the Soviet Union. The non-aligned movement, which India was a founding member of, became a significant force in international politics, advocating for the interests of developing countries and promoting peace and cooperation. But those days are over. The world has changed, and so has India. The country has evolved from a cautious player to an assertive leader, ready to take on new responsibilities and challenges on the global stage. As a rising superpower, India is ready to take its rightful place as a leader on the world stage. With its growing economic power, technological advancements, and a young, dynamic population, India is poised to influence global affairs in unprecedented ways. The country's leadership is increasingly being recognized and respected in international forums. We're seeing India assert itself more confidently in international forums, from the United Nations to the G20. India's voice is becoming louder and more influential, advocating for reforms in global governance structures to make them more representative and equitable. India could lead the creation of new international bodies, sidelining existing organizations like the UN or IMF. These new institutions would align with Indian interests and policies. In the most extreme scenario, India could spearhead the formation of a world government with Indian leaders and ideologies, shaping global policies, laws, and governance structures. This shift from non-alignment to global leadership won't be without its challenges. India will need to navigate complex geopolitical landscapes, manage its internal development needs, and address the expectations of its growing population. Now let's talk about the social and demographic changes that could come with India becoming a superpower. If India's economy continues to grow rapidly, it could lead to some pretty extreme shifts. One major change could be mass migrations. The economic opportunities in India could attract people from all over the world. Imagine millions of people moving to India for better jobs, education, and living conditions. This influx could lead to the creation of megacities with populations exceeding 100 million. Picture cities even more massive than today's biggest metropolises, with bustling streets, towering skyscrapers, and vibrant, diverse communities. These megacities would become centers of innovation, culture, and economic activity, driving further growth and development. However, this massive migration to India could have significant impacts on other regions. Countries that were once economic hubs might see their populations shrink as talent and labor move to the new superpower. This depopulation could lead to economic downturns and social challenges in these regions as they struggle to cope with the loss of their workforce and intellectual capital. To manage its vast influence and enormous population, India might adopt an authoritarian governance model. This would involve using advanced surveillance and control mechanisms to maintain order and project power. Think about extensive use of technology to monitor and manage the population, ensuring stability in a rapidly changing world. For example, there could be widespread use of AI and big data to track public sentiment, monitor activities, and quickly address potential issues before they escalate. This kind of control could help India navigate the complexities of being a global leader with such a huge population. The government might implement strict policies to ensure economic stability, social harmony, and national security. While this authoritarian approach could maintain order and facilitate India's rise to superpower status, it could also raise concerns about personal freedoms and human rights. Balancing the need for control with the rights and freedoms of individuals would be a critical challenge for India in this new era. In summary, the rise of India as a superpower could lead to massive demographic shifts, the creation of megacities, and significant changes in governance. These transformations would reshape not only India but the entire world as the global balance of power shifts and new challenges and opportunities emerge. So, there you have it, folks. Over the next few decades, we're going to witness a dramatic transformation, not just in India but in the world. Imagine a world where India is a global leader in technology, a major economic powerhouse, and a strong voice for peace and stability. In a more extreme coincidence, it could lead to the decline of existing superpowers like the United States and China. This might cause economic crises, political upheavals, and even the breakup of these countries into smaller regions. In South Asia, India's dominance could lead to redrawing national borders. India might exert control or influence over neighboring countries, potentially creating a greater India. This could bring stability and growth, but also spark conflicts and resistance in the region. Will it happen? Probably not. But with a new powerhouse on the world stage, everything could happen. The world better get ready, because India is coming, and it's bringing a whole lot of change with it.